most of the eye surgeries, we could do anywhere from 5 to 10 eye surgeries per day. And all their pre-operative workup takes place in that dockside unit, and they only come on board to have the surgery on the ship, but most of the work takes place. Sorry.
Right.
And they've come from Switzerland to see more about what we're doing. You can walk the link up inside.
Welcome to our lab. We do lots of testing here. We do hematology, chemistry. This is Bethany.
Bethany.
Lab test.
Come on in.
I didn't Sorry to be up there either. We do hematology, chemistries. We do blood banking. We get our blood supplies from the crew.
C-Deck is divided up into little pods downstairs.
And where are you from?
Australia.
Australia. And
You can only come and go into each one without being able to go laterally.
I've been here for about 3 months.
And then so there's people living on this deck, mostly singles. You have a maximum of about 400 people living on the ship. I tell from the outside looking in where the tumor began and ended and that sort of thing. And so now with this machine they can really tell for sure if the tumor is operable before they start onto it and what they're up against, how difficult of a case it will be.
Tell me something. The Africans who have probably never been in a hospital before, and look at this big donut thing. What are their responses? How do they react to it?
Good question. If our CT scanner girl, we could ask her directly because she can tell you better. The question was, when you put an African in there who's never been on a hospital before and never seen any machines like this before, what's their average reaction? Do you know? Have you seen?
They're pretty terrified. Kids will cry. Sometimes we have to sedate them, but we just tell them through a translator that it's just going to take a picture, they have to lie still, and they're generally pretty good. They're so scared that they don't want to have to do it twice. So.
This is our pharmacy. There's not a whole lot of room in there, but you all can pop your heads in if you'd like to see it.
Hello.
Hello.
They do the eye examinations to prepare the patients for the surgery. So they check their eyes and ear. And now we are entering the engineering area of the ship. This is our chief engineer in his office, and he will meet you all a little later. The ship right now in terms of going up and down and also back and front. And the guys in the ship are trained to learn to fight fires and to protect us that way. So we have numbers of crew who are prepared to respond if there's a fire. I met my husband here on board the ship.
First classroom I showed you, I taught there first.
In the school, he's a teacher, and I went back one day for a visit.
And I was working there late at night, and
that's where I met him.
she was a student of the Segway program. She came in and she was a teacher, and she was like, oh, I just wanted to see what was back here, and said hi and bye, and
So
we became friends. And
yeah, and then we met here.
went home, it did not work out, and Rory, who was back on the ship, was thinking, we need to get this teacher to come back, and finally came back after 6 months, and I thought, I will never date anyone on board the ship.
So
Several months later, we were in Cape Town, and we started dating, and
we were dating.
6 months later, the ship came back to Cape Town and asked her to marry me.
We fell in love.
So we're couple number 153 or something.
Serious?
Yeah, they have a whole list. of everyone who's been married. I think there's over 200 now that have met on board and have gotten married.
And then we went home and we got married
And someone is keeping track of all that. So.
in the United States. So we have a hair salon here, but at the moment we don't have anybody doing hairdressing for us. So if you know any hairdressers in Switzerland who want to come work on the ship, please send them to us.
I cut my own hair. I can come and do it.
Okay.
If everyone wants a cut like this,
Like
I will
the
take
Bryce
care
do.
of it.
Yeah. Cool. And we also have a bank here. We have a little post office there.
Hello. Say hello to the post office.
So Lisa works in the post office. That's her job.
Which way is the front of the ship?
Good question. I think it's that way.
And what do you think? Which way is the front of the ship?
This way.
C'est devant.
Oh, the front. Yeah,
The front.
Actually, back is there.
The back is there. Which way is the front?
I also think that way is the front.
It's the other way. That's the front.
Is it?
Yeah.
We're almost to the back now.
Yeah.
This is the very end of the ship back there.
This is
We
the.
walked,
So
we
what-
walked
so-
from the front towards
Actually-
Wait.
So,
It's confusing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really
So actually, what I'm gonna do tomorrow is I'm gonna take you, Sandro, and I'm
Blindfold
gonna
her.
no, I'm not even gonna blindfold you. You're just gonna follow me around, and I'm gonna leave you somewhere on sea deck, and you've got to find your way off the ship.
kind of like all the new crew.
So,
It's confusing.
so
It's confusing.
And it used to be the dining room for the second class passengers, and now it is the dining room for the families. They said that the reason that they made the mirror pink like that was because when the passengers on the ship were feeling seasick and your skin is feeling a little bit green or washed out, you look at yourself in this mirror and you think, oh, I'm looking fine, and then you feel better. Ryan over there. Jamaican place here, and then we have a little playground in the very back for the small kids. Style, espresso or latte or something. So they're open sometimes and serve us coffee, and so often you'll just see the crew in here sort of hanging out. This is the hangout area. And this is where if you remember I talked about the swimming pool. The swimming pool fits inside those walls. That's where it is. So that's how deep it is and how wide it is.
Well, it's interesting to see the several parts of the ships.
C'est de voir la multitude de toutes ces pièces,
The several jobs the people do and all that, but
que ce bateau puisse fonctionner. C'est un monde en part.
I think the most interesting area I will see this afternoon.
yeah.
C'est extrêmement compliqué
Ouais.
et quand même ça marche, même si le bateau a déjà 50 ans.
Ah, c'est génial.
Ouais.
All the operating, the patients.
Also was extrem eindrücklich ist, dass das Schiff, obwohl es 50-jährig ist, dass das alles funktioniert und dass es immer wieder Leute gibt, die bereit sind, dazu zu schauen. Und das ist technisch ist das sicher extrem kompliziert.